All right, this week I'm going to get right into a quick recording because it's a good question that I've been getting a lot. We are now into the throes of summer, and so it's one of those things that's going to help a lot of you guys. And what it is about dead spots around edges. This comes from Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Hey, Alan, Rusty from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I have a tall fescue lawn, and the question I have is around watering. You alluded to the tuna can. I have done that. I have an in-ground irrigation system. But during the summer, during high heat, I get really bad areas or really dead areas around the walkways, the driveway, and the curb of the road. Is there any suggestions you have for doing something different for that, adding more water, anything to help that grass in those areas? I appreciate all you do, and thanks again.
All right, Rusty, this is a great question, and it's one that a lot of people have. So let me explain in case you don't know what Rusty's talking about. He's talking about areas of the lawn that border usually anything that is concrete. So sidewalk, driveway, curb, street. These areas are going to dry out much quicker, and what it actually is it's sending the lawn into dormancy. So, turf grass in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, we're talking about turf-type tall fescue for the most part, which is a cool season turf in the transition zone. I mean, they get a lot of heat in Murfreesboro, but they also get a lot of cold in the winter. So that is definitely the heart of the transition zone right there. And turf-type tall fescue, a cool season grass, is the best heat-resistant of the cool season grasses. In fact, if you're someone that is looking for a more heat-resistant cool season turf, then you want a turf-type tall fescue and an improved turf-type tall fescue for sure. But even so, once temperatures outside, I'm talking air temperatures, get over 85, which means soil temps are going to be up there too, that is going to start triggering that grass type, any grass type that's cool season, to want to go into dormancy. So just like your grass goes into dormancy in the winter, it will also go into dormancy in the summer if it gets a little bit too hot and it doesn't have enough moisture to support itself. So yes, one of the answers would be to water more, and a lot of people will do syringing and things like that to keep that area from going into summer dormancy. Now, what Rusty seems to be experiencing here is if that area stays dormant for long periods of time without getting enough water, it actually can have some die-off, and that's where the crowns will die. And then you would have to reseed in the fall or whatever you're going to do, resod, that type of thing. So he's asking, what can I do to keep those areas from, number one, going dormant, and then number two, in the long term, from even dying off? And so the first thing is to do that afternoon syringing. But you can't do that all the time. And in fact, it's not really always the best idea to do for long periods of time. It's something that you could do if you knew you had a hot spell coming for a week or two. But in an area like Murfreesboro, they're probably going to be over 90 for several weeks during the summer. And he's looking for a longer term type of a solution. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to encourage as deep roots as you possibly can. And turf-type tall fescue does have a much deeper root system than, say, Kentucky bluegrass or ryewood. So that's one of the things to first start with, is you do want to make sure you have a good improved cultivar of turf-type tall fescue there. The second thing to do would be to treat your parkways with humic acid. I do this with mine. Now, I've got St. Augustine grass. It can definitely handle the heat, but still, we get in those stressful situations, and you can imagine here, when it's over 95 degrees, how hot it is next to the blacktop street. It is really up there. So I have similar challenges, and what I do is I apply humic acid into my parkways every single month. I use our Humic 12 product. It's 9 ounces per 1,000. Just spray it on the parkways. It doesn't even take that long because I don't have a lot of areas that are bordering. I call them parkways. I'm talking about areas that border concrete or other curbed areas. So that's the first thing, humic acid monthly. That's just going to keep the soil aerated, and it's going to help the roots to continue to dive deeper. The second thing is, and this is a product that we do sell on our website, thelawncarenut.com, is Hydratane. Hydratane works great. I put it on all of my parkways, and in fact, I'd never run my irrigation in the parkways. I've got broken sprinkler heads and pipes in that area that I just don't want to get to and dig up. So I just turn that whole zone off, the one that waters all my parkways, and I only use year-round. Hydratane I only have to do a couple times a year now. We're year-round here in Florida. We never go dormant, so I'll do a treatment, usually outside of the rainy season. I did a treatment not long ago, though. We had a long dry spell, so I did some. But for me, typically, it's going to be during winter. I don't go dormant in winter, but we also don't have any rain in winter. For you in Murfreesboro, it's going to be right now in the summer. You're going to treat your parkways with the Hydratane and get the liquid, water it in immediately. What Hydratane does is it literally sucks moisture moisture from the humidity in the air and brings it closer to your roots. And that then helps that lawn to not go dormant. Now, it's not a miracle cure. If you get days over 100 and you don't water, no, it's not going to help you. But in your case, Rusty, you actually have irrigation, so you are able to get that water in there. So what the Hydrotain will do is just help the soil retain the water longer between your watering cycles, and that then should reduce the amount of watering you have to do and also reduce the amount of dormancy that you're seeing in those parkway areas or those areas that are bordering concrete. So that would be what I would do right there. Is if you have to, on the hottest days and the hottest stretches, do a little afternoon syringing with your sprinkler system. Use humic acid once a month to keep the soil oxygenated, and use Hydrotain to help extend the use of the irrigation that you're currently doing. And as always, my friend, let's hope for the best.